Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. I'm going to go over the morning notes because I think they're pretty important, and if you follow them and just look at the pivots and what's being said, you can make money on your own. The ones in the trade room today, we made a small fortune trading IWM. And one of the reasons that was going on was that, I was expecting a very, very serious chop session today with a very wide range, and that's exactly what happened. But what I was putting in here, and it's played out today, was that, our traders short-minded because we saw the same exact reaction last year when the market sold off on tariff fears, only to find traders that were chasing the price nearly the S&P 2,000 points higher shortly after. And what I was explaining was tariffs are self-inflicted and negotiable. So when you sell off on tariff talks, if Trump is a stock market guy, he's an economy guy. And if he sees things spiraling out of control, what's he going to do? He's going to walk it back. What happened today? He walked it back, and we saw the S&P move almost 250 points intraday. But here was what I was saying, the upside targets we're going to be to 68.70, and I was just expecting some big chops. So let's take a look at what happened here. We saw the S&P gap higher, made it up to 670 to 676, then drop back down again, and from here you can see that we had some a bullish divergence with a target back up to these levels again. And this was suggested in the room for the spiders. I said, there's an upside target coming all the way up to 684, and that's when it was trading all the way down at 680. So if anybody who took that trade did very, very well. But on that, this was the trap right here when we came down, because it looked like we were crashing, and support held, and from there but this is when Trump walked back to tariffs, and we saw the S&P go from 68.22 up to 69.10 in a matter of 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So it was, it's exactly what played out, and why, the tariff stuff does not scare me. You have to know when to get in and out. But the thing is that if things really start to spiral out of control, he's just going to walk them back. He did it last year, and he just did it today. He uses it as a negotiating tool. And if people don't understand that, they're going to get caught selling the rallies and then shorting, the entire move up here, and they get trapped. But in any case, this is the support level for the S&P. It's right at that 68.72. So we came down, support did hold, but if they lose that, then we're probably going to do a full retrace of this move, and we'll probably see the S&P trading somewhere down at the 68.36. Now, the problem that the reason why I'm not pounding the table that we're going to have to, that we're moving up, is that you can see that we have this could be an ABC of an A. Here's your ABC of a B. And if that is the case, then we're looking at the S&P coming down, and probably coming down and closing this gap somewhere at the 67.38. Am I saying that's going to happen? I don't know. I'm going to let the market tell me and show me what it's going to happen. But we made it. We came down. If we take a look at a fib retracement from the move, it actually fits the profile there too. And we're just going from this high here down to here, so you can see. So the first move almost made it to the 50% retracement, came back down, and then from there made it up to the 62% retracement. So again, if we could even go even deeper and say, all right, well, what would be the retracement from that level? And we would start from here and say, all right, well, this is that. I was saying if this support does not hold right here, then we could come all the way, we could come down and retrace this, and that would be down near the 62% retracement. So the areas that I would be watching would be the 68.44, 68.26. As long as it comes down and that holds, then this is going to be a big wave 2, and we're going to have a wave 3 up. So I'm pretty, like I said, I'm neutral right now. I still think there's going to be some pretty choppy markets moving forward. I don't think it's going to be any just grind higher type move. Volatility's here, and it's really, I read a headline. It's headline roulette, because you don't know what's going to happen. Are you going to be getting long because everything looks like we're heading higher from here, and then the tariff talk comes and it goes down, and now when it's coming down, you're thinking that we're going to scream straight down, and the tariff talks are walked back and we're straight up. So one of the things that I'd mentioned was, just don't fall in love with the direction. And that's pretty much exactly, what we did today. And the wide range, I said it's perfect for us because we can take hedge positions and actually make money on both sides. And I'll show you what we did once we get to IWM and show you how we did with it. But in any case, so if the bulls can get above this, say the highs that we made today, there's a gap right here that this is going to probably be a magnet, and that's up at the 69.50. If they get above it, then what we can do is simply say, okay, well, let's take a look at what an ABC move would be at. And our upside target would be right around the 70.54. Now, remember, if I just go to the 60-minute chart, which I have not changed, I must have changed that, I'm sorry. So the position that I had, let me just take this off. Hang on one second. Okay, so if this was the low right here, and this is the floor, and we're heading higher, what I'm showing you here, here's our A, B, C. This has a target of 7,100. Here's another one, A. This is the B, the top we made here. I'm sorry, A, B, and then this brings us to C. That brings us to the 70.55. So if this was the low and we're heading higher and the bulls can get above the 69.85, the next move is going to be to 7,000, which is just your round number. And then these would be the next two targets, 70.55, 71.04. But as I said, if this was what was only an A, this is a B, and we're making a wave C, now that's going to bring us down to, actually, let me do it. I'm going to do it on another chart because it's easier on that way. So if it, hang on one second. This is the 15s. Okay, so I'm going to clear this off. Sorry about this. I just want to give you guys a good idea. So now, if this is an ABC pattern on the downside, so then we're looking at a move that would be coming somewhere in the range of down to the 67.11, which would be below this gap, closing this gap, and right around a round number. So right now, I'm open-minded, where if this was an ABC of an A, and this was our B, and now we're making a wave C, fine, we just short it. If this was the low here, and these lows hold, and we take these highs out, and then we come up here, then we're looking at a target coming all the way up to the 70.55, 71.04. So we don't have any bullish divergences here, so that leaves the door open that these are not the lows. But again, this held right here, and if they head higher, because a lot of times they do make lows without bullish divergences, as you can see right here back in October. So there is a chance that it does it, and this has a very similar fractal pattern where we had a big move up, down, and then from there we just kind of melted higher. So we got to just keep our minds open on this and not really take any just drastic directional moves right now. So IWM, let me show you what we did on this, because this was honestly, I think, one of the best trading days we've had I can't even remember the last time we made this much. So we had the gap up. And once we got over to this the 265, I had said let's take a 265 straddle using the puts and calls. So when we came up and we came all the way up to the up to this 266.74, I had suggested that I said let's scale out of half of the position on the call side because we are up a lot on it. And then from there, we had this big move here, so we made our money on the downside. We made more money on the downside on this. And then when we were here, I said, let's close the put position, and I'm going to go with a 264 call position, and I was already holding some of the 265s, so they made money on that too. We made a lot of money on these trades with it, and we weren't really risking a whole lot. We're talking maybe a few $100, $500-600 on it, but we were, we've made well over a few $1,000s. Whoever was following these, and whoever took the spiders trade on that was, did even better, because this was suggested here because we had this. We had a bullish divergence with a target of the 682, and that's when we were trading down at the 678 level right here. So that made the money on that, and it ended up going a lot higher. But in any case, taking a look at the portfolio, hang on one second here. Let me do this. Sorry, I have so many tabs open. But we ended up making, we did 3,800 today, and a lot of that was off of the IWM positions that we made. But this is another thing. So when all the quantum stocks were getting hammered today, and when they were down at support levels, I simply doubled our position. So they're back down to 250 right now, because what I did is when QBTS was down $2.15 or 20 cents, I bought another 250, brought it to 500. This actually went green. I took the 500. I took the 250 off. So you could see where the IREN was down 1.36. Instead of trading that one, I just wrote some covered calls. QBTS down 3.48%. RGTI 5.16. And the RGTI was down 8.2. But if you look for the day, what happened? We were green on all of these, and because once these things reversed, all I did was took the 250 off, because that's all I want to run with right now, because they're still kind of weak. But we did 38.29 for the day. It was honestly one of the best trading days that we've had in the room in a long time. And I even put that in the morning notes, that when we get these very wide ranges, that it's this is what we thrive on, because you can take your hedge positions, calls and puts, make money on the call side, and then make money on the put side, and then make money on the call side again. So it worked out fantastic. Like I said, we had a really, really good day. And tomorrow, like I said, we have to just wake up and see how things are going to play out. I didn't hold any positions into the overnight, because I just, if you have to be hedged with it, and where you're going to have a call and a put, and if you have to have a massive gap open, or you're going to be underwater. So if I don't see odds on our side for taking any kind of, like, say, a long or a short position, and where volatility is so strong that we're going to get a big gap up or big gap down, we just stay out. So we're going into tomorrow totally open-minded. I do believe that these quantum stocks are going to start catching a bid again. But again, what I've mentioned was what we want to do, even as these are going down. We want to keep the portfolio value where it is, and this time it increased because of some good trades. And then once they bottom, that's when we start making a real lot of money, because they fly when they go on the upside. So if anybody is interested in joining the trade room, like I said, you today could have paid for your entire year probably that would have cost on it, or the lifetime membership. So just send me an email, and with that, let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a great night, and I will talk to you guys in the morning.